Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I am really excited about today's class because we are going to be focusing on increasing our energy level. I think it is really safe to say that we've all been there. You hit a certain point in the day and you hit a wall. You become lethargic and foggy and you just can't think straight, and typically we'll reach for that second or third or fourth cup of coffee. But either way, whatever we do, we typically don't have the option to lay down and rest. If so, that's great. But typically, if we're not able to lay down and rest our bodies, that fatigue can serve as something that's very distracting, and it's just inconvenient. And so we are going to move the body in a way to increase our oxygen intake and open and stretch, and hopefully that result is a little more energy to help you get through the rest of the day. So if you've got enough energy to roll out your yoga mat, then let's get started. So before we get started, I just want to emphasize that I understand that when you're feeling at your most tired in the middle of the day, you may not be able to just get up and roll out your yoga mat. So I want to encourage you to take the time to watch this video and take little pieces of it and use a stretch or a breath technique that can help you in that moment. Then when you are able to roll out your yoga mat and do the entire video and series of poses, then you'll be good to go. But just like how we start every other video, I really want to focus and emphasize the breath, especially when it comes to our energy. So if we're tired, you may even realize that our posture mimics how we feel. So if we're tired, we may be like slumped over, our posture is poor. You know, we may even be leaning on our desk, with our head in our hand. That's a lot of, our muscles are turned off at that point. But muscular activation is definitely helpful when it comes to building up some energy. And so I want to not only emphasize stepping away from a chair, but sitting up tall if you have to sit, but standing up nice and tall if you're able to step away from your seat. Feet about hip width apart, just active through the legs, don't lock out the knees, tucking the tailbone, expanding through the chest, without so much sticking out the butt. We're just getting tall. We're really emphasizing a nice long spine, shoulders down, arms down by our side, palms face forward, and fingers really widespread. And here in this moment, I just want you to close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your breathing. You may find that it's shallow. It's not very full or deep. And when we can expand through the ribs, fill the lungs, we're able to get that much more oxygen into the body. So sit standing up tall, big breaths here. Don't force it, just let it happen naturally, but focus on enhancing a little bit more of that inhale. As you exhale, just let it all go. Try to breathe low into the low belly and allow it to travel up. So if you're a visual person, you can imagine your breath starting low, making its way up, and then just breathing out all of that lethargy, all of that staleness and stiffness. So keep that going. And it's okay if you're breathing louder than normal. Of course, if you have coworkers around, I can understand if you don't want to do that. In this moment, I just want to encourage you to observe. Is there anything that's coming into the body physically or into the mind mentally and emotionally as you expand and explore your breath? Things can come to the surface, and that's totally normal, and it's nice if we can observe what that is. Keeping the breath as a priority, we're going to add movement with the arms. So we're going to keep that nice, beautiful standing posture going. We're going to arms rise. Really focus on expanding through the sides of the body. Just like you're stretching first thing in the morning. Exhale, down by your side. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, arms reach. Maybe looking up between the hands, and exhale, arms down. We're gonna add a forward fold to the mix. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, slide into the knees, hinge to the hips, arms out to the side, and make your way down to where your hands can find the floor. This is our first inversion of our practice. Inversion meaning the head is below the heart. Getting a little bit more of a blood flow into the head can really help with energy as well. So from here you can alternate a knee bend, straightening one leg, bending the other, getting some movement through the back of the body. Let the head relax down. Don't just drop the head down, but just gently tuck the chin. Breath is still even and smooth. Finding some stillness in this forward fold. We're gonna inhale, arms rise high overhead. Think of that side body stretch like a big yawn. Exhale, bring it down to that forward fold. 2 more of these. Inhale as we stand up tall. Exhale as we swan dive to that forward fold, bending the knees as much as possible. Sometimes, depending on flexibility, we may not be able to bring our hands all the way to the earth, so we can always bring our hands to the thighs. We can bend the knees more in order to make our way to the floor. So just be mindful of how your body is feeling. Inhaling and arms rising, we're gonna bring our hands to the heart and relax our arms down by our side. We're gonna focus on a side body stretch now. So if you can picture your lungs, we're gonna open one and then the other and really expand through the side body to really get that much more energy and oxygen in each lung one at a time. So we're gonna reach up high to the sky with that right arm. Because we're reaching down with the left, the tendency is gonna be to lean over to the left side. So we're gonna shift our weight into the right foot as we reach up to the right, reach down with the left. So I want you, if you're a visual person, to imagine that you're just centimeters away from touching the floor, just centimeters away from touching the ceiling. So you're pulling yourself in 2 different directions and we're expanding through the ribs. So taking those deep breaths here. Relax with the right arm. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So reaching up with the left, reaching down with the right, shifting a little more weight into that left foot just so that we don't lean over. So we're reaching down with the right, reaching up with the left, leaning a little bit more into the left foot than the right, opening through the left ribs. Sending all of what we're bringing in with that inhale into that left lung. Slowly easing our way out of this side body stretch. We're gonna inhale our arms up high to the sky. Exhale, float those arms, relax the fingers, relax the wrists, and float those arms through center all the way back down by our side. We're gonna find a chest expansion from here. Now there's different ways that we can get into a chest expansion. So if you have a towel handy or a strap, that could be very, very helpful so that you can hold on to that if we have some tightness in our shoulders. Otherwise, you can make a fist and bring it to your low back in the right where the pelvis and the low back kind of come together. Hello, beautiful. What's up? Oh, I'm sorry. And so, sorry about that. Lola's trying to tell me something. So we're pressing into that low back with the fists, and we're drawing those elbows in towards one another. As you can see, it's also going to naturally lift through the chest and lift the chin. So you're following the gaze point follows where the chest is going. So we're not lifting through the chest and looking down, we're just following where we're naturally going with the body. Slowly easing out and coming back to a nice neutral standing pose. This is where that towel or that strap is going to come in handy because we're going to get into a little bit of a deeper expression with this chest expansion. So we can explore this variation that we just did again. We can hold on to a towel or a strap, or we can interlace our fingers behind the back, pretending that you have a tennis ball between your palms and you're squeezing that tennis ball between the palms. Slight bend in the knees, squeeze your shoulder blades together, drawing the knuckles down towards the floor, lifting, take a big breath in, exhale, hinge through the hips, slight bend in the knees. We're finding that forward fold, but now with those fingers interlaced or with that towel in our hands. So again, relaxing the weight of the head down, gently tucking the chin. Finding a combination of that inversion with that open chest expansion. Gently and slowly, we're going to release the hands, bringing ourselves back to a forward fold. We're going to find what I like to call a funky twist. We're going to place our left hand in front of the feet, straighten through the right leg, and bend through the left knee. This is automatically shifting my hips over to the right. All I'm going to do from here is reach up towards the sky with my right arm, or I can just place my palms in the low back. Gently unraveling, switching sides, bringing straight, our leg straight, and bringing our right hand right under the face, in front of the feet, bending the right knee, straightening that left leg. Automatically, it shifts my hips over towards the left, and it's a natural tendency to want to twist open a little bit more. Left arm can reach high to the sky, or left palm can find the low back. Now, as you can see, I'm looking up. You can also look straight ahead or look down. Listen to what your neck is telling you. If this feels good, then go ahead and look up. But sometimes it feels better to look down. It's just totally up to you. Gently unraveling out of this twist, finding that forward fold. We're going to step back with the right leg, bringing our right knee to the mat. So we're in a nice gentle low lunge. We're going to now take the left leg and stick it straight back, turning ourselves, shifting our weight into the right side, into the right hand, finding a nice gentle kneeling side plank. Nothing intense. We're just really opening the body and inviting that much more energy in. So again, I'm looking up. You can look straight ahead or down. Making any adjustments. I'm making the adjustment of stacking my shoulder over my wrist just so that I'm not all the way out here. You want to make sure you're protecting your joints. And I'm going to reach over to where my bicep hovers over the ear to get a little bit more of a stretch and an opening through my left side body. Lola is very vocal today. From here, we're using our core to stand up on that right knee, on that left foot. Now we're standing up, that left arm is going to glide down the left leg, and we're reaching up straight with the right arm. And so what this is going to do is now open through the right side body. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, but this is gate pose. We're opening and stretching, expanding. Same rules apply. I can look up, straight ahead, or down. So whatever feels right for your body, your neck. We always want to keep the head and the neck in mind, of course. Bringing ourselves back to center. We're just going to bring our left knee to the mat. Extend that right leg out to the side. And then we're going to come down into that kneeling side plank on the other side. Now opening up that right lung. our core strength, we're gonna bring ourselves up, standing up on that left knee, that right foot. We're gonna glide our hand down that right leg and reach up towards the sky with the left arm, opening that left arm. From here, cartwheeling the hands all the way down to the mat, bringing ourselves to hands and knees. We're gonna sit back in child's pose just so we can find our alignment with our downward facing dog. So hips to heels, finding a full extension with those arms, the upper body, palms planted firmly into the mat. Sit those hips up slightly to curl the toes under, press into the balls of the feet and start to extend through the legs. So in the downward facing dog, if we have tight hamstrings, those knees can always stay bent. Shoulders are engaged, meaning we're pressing away from the ears. Hello, gorgeous. And we can find some extension with the legs. And just like we did in that forward fold, we can pedal out the heels. One knee bends, the other leg is straight. Just alternating that movement. And from here, finding stillness with the downward facing dog, we're going to shift into a plank pose. We're activating the core, getting a little more heat built up in the body, a little more intensity. So in a plank pose, we're not doing this. We are pressing into the earth. We're drawing the navel in. We're activating strong through the legs, looking straight forward, meaning we're looking down about 6 inches in front of our hands. Big inhale here. Exhale back to a downward facing dog. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale forward, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's add a little intensity for the lower body. We're gonna rise off the heels, bend the knees, look to your hands, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend, look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to your hands and just make your way to your hands, finding a forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbows, widening your stance, feet wider than the hips. Relax the weight of the head down and just sway side to side, ragdoll pose. Now our head has been below the heart for a while now from our downward facing dog and going back and forth. So we're gonna be really mindful as we make our way back up to standing. We're gonna release the elbows and we're gonna roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Once you come to standing, let's roll those shoulders up to the ears. Drop the weight and the tension out of the shoulders as you exhale. Let's keep that going. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, release. You can envision that you're exhaling and breathing out the tension from the body. So when we hold on to tension, it's actually very energy consuming, and so when we can release that tension, it can actually feel very relaxing but also energizing. Good job. So continuing to keep that breath as a primary focus. We're just gonna have 1 more nice beautiful chest expansion. So fists to the low back, feet hip width apart. Staying up tall, pulling those elbows towards one another, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting through the chest, and lifting the chin slightly. Let's take 3 big breaths here. Slowly making our way back to a nice standing pose. I hear Chloe has just woken up. poses, you're feeling a little bit more energized to help you get through the rest of the day. If you aren't able to step away and do something like this, if you're again at work or in a situation where you're just not able to do yoga in that moment where you're feeling very lethargic, then the least you can do is close your eyes and focus on your breath for just a few minutes. Expanding through the breath, deepening the breath, and opening up the opportunity to just receive a little bit more energy is something that can really help you get through the day, especially those moments that are just a little difficult to get through. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.